सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति जीवन जनार्दन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् गौर गोविंद महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद् भक्ति वैभव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमद् भक्ति राक्षसीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। Find the battery somewhere. Fell off. कृष्ण विष्णु पाद स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। परम भागवत शिल गौर किशोर दास जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद शिल भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। स्वरूप दामोदर रमानंद दी श्री गौर परिषद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। नवद्वीप मंदो की जय। व्रज मंदो की जय। क्षेत्र मंदो की जय। त्रिभुवन मंगो श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। भक्ति विघ्न विनाशन भगवान ऋषिमदेव की जय। भक्त प्रभु प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। रसेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी वृंदावनेश्वरी सेवकुंजेश्वरी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। कुलदेवी योगमा पूर्णमसी देवी की जय। गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। नंद बाबा यशोदा माता की जय। वृषभानु बाबा कीर्तित देवी की जय। ललित विशाखा दिशा की वृंद की जय। रूप मंजरे वृंद की जय। श्री रसेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी वृंदावनेश्वरी सेवकुंजेश्वरी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। कुल देवी योगमा पूर्णमासी देवी की जय। गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। नंद बाबा यशोदा माता की जय। वृषभानु बाबा कीर्तित देवी की जय। ललित विशाखा दिशा की वृंद की जय। अनंत कुटी वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समक्त गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि वो। In the fire of Sankirtana, the glasses have been lost. So somewhere, maybe I'm sitting on them. Check around. Okay, old age, no glasses, no seeing anything. I'm sitting on them. They're still okay, hopefully. Okay, good. Has everyone from the kitchen come? Get them in to hear Harikatha. Cooking finished. Hear Harikatha. This is what we came for. अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पवनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। आनन्दलीलमय विग्रहाय मपदिव्यच विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलो कल्मषनाशाय जन्मपतये नमः। अजनुलम्बितभुजौ कनकवदातो सङ्कीर्तनायकपितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो जुगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणवतारो कनकचलदगत्रो नीलशोणाब्जनेत्रो मृगमदवरबालो मालतीकुन्दमालो तरलतरुणवेशो नीलपीताम्बरेशो स्मरनिभृतनिकुञ्जे राधिकाकृष्णचन्द्र अद्वैत प्रकटीकृत नरहरिप्रेष्ठस्वरूपप्रिय नित्यानंद सखा सनातन गति शिरूपहृतकेतन लक्ष्मी प्राणपति गदाधर रसोल्लास्य जगन्नाथ भो संग पंग सपर्शद सदयितं देवा सचिनंदन। Saundarye Kamakoti Sakalajana Samahladane Chandrakotir Vatsalya Matrikotis Tridashavitapinam Kotiraudarya Sarya Gambiriam Bodhikotir Madhurimani Sudakshira Madhvika Kotir Gauradeva Sajiyat Pranaya Rasapade Darshitascharya Kotir Hela Dunita Kedaya Vishadaya Pranmiladan Modaya Chamyachastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Chittarpitan Madaya Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Sri Chaitanya Daya Nideta Vadaya Bhuyada Mandodaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadata Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, my unlimited Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Astutra Satashi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. My Shiksha Gurudeva Sam Vishnupad Astutra Satashi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. Srimati Krishna Priya Thakurani. Also the author of Sri Caitanya-bhagavata, the book we'll be hearing from today, Sri Vrindavana Das Thakur. Also all Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, all the chain of disciplic succession coming from Srila Rupa Goswami. Also, all of you, dear devotees and friends, in the house of Rasaraj's parents, Rasaraj, our, how to say, spiritual nephew. So we're very happy to be here with you, and our electronic viewers who are watching us now, online and further on in the recording. So very, very blissful subjects we're hearing from these days, we're hearing about these days. So it's all about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm very happy my longest pointer came about again, so I can reach the spiritual sky, you know. So this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the left here, on the left, I mean on the other side, on the left here, so on the right. So Krishna is in the center, Srimati Radhika on her left, on his left side. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahyanya, none other than Radha and Krishna. But Antar Krishnam Bahir Gauram. Antar Krishna means inside Krishna, Bahir, outside Srimati Radhika. He has taken Bhava and Kanti, means the mood and the bodily hue of Srimati Radhika. That is a very, very special Krishna. When Krishna was on earth 5,000 years ago, 5,200 something years ago, he returned to spiritual world, but he was having three unfulfilled desires. Three unfulfilled desires. We're mentioning yesterday in London a little bit about that. But what are those? Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishavana Eva Swadeyanadbhuta Madhurima Kidrishava Madhya Saukyam Chasya Madhudavatam Kidrisham Vitilobat Tadbhavadya Samajani Sachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu. No. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrishavana Eva. What is the depth of Srimati Radhika's love? So Krishna was thinking, I have love for Srimati Radhika, for the gopis. But what does she have? She has. Krishna was thinking millions of times more. Millions of times more. So even to the point that Srila Gurudev used to say, even Krishna doesn't know how Srimati Radhika loves him. The depth is just unimaginable, millions and millions of times deeper. So what is the depth of her love? So Srila Rupa Goswami analyzed in his books, especially Ujjvala Nilamani, the levels of prema, divine love. So even Krishna reaches the levels of Rudha Adiruddha, but Srimati Radhika has even more. She has the deepest manifestation of prema, which is called Madan. So this is a very deep subject, and we're just speaking a little bit. I'm speaking like a parrot, I heard something, so chirik, chirik, I'm just repeating. So, Madanakya Mahabhava, that is Srimati Radhika. Mahabhava Swarupa Shirada Thakurani, Sarvaguna Khani, Sarvaikanta Shiramani, Krishna Ikanta Shiramani. So, she is the personification of all good qualities. Shirada Mahabhava Swarupa. She is the personification of Mahabhava, divine love. So when prema, divine love, becomes very thick, it is known as Mahabhava. So Mahabhava has levels from Sneha, deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So that's why even Krishna reaches Ruda Adiruda, and he's looking deeper towards Srimati Radhika's feelings, and he cannot understand. So he returned to Golok Vrindavan, and he was thinking, I could not understand that. So that was the first reason he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Radhaya Pranay Mahima Kidrishavaneva Swadhyanad Bhuta Madhurima Kidrisho Madhya. Adbhuta means, astonishing. Madhurima means sweetness. What is the astonishing sweetness of my own qualities? Krishna was thinking, which can be perceived only by Srimati Radhika, only in her love, and only by her. Even no other gopis, even Lalita and Vishaka cannot approach the depth of Srimati Radhika's love. Krishna has so many gopis, billions and billions. Shatakoti means hundreds of millions. Koti, I think, 100 million. And Shata means even more. So, but amongst them, Radhika and Chandravali have special position. But especially Radhika is so attractive to Krishna because her love is called Madhu Sneha. Madhu Sneha means like honey. Sweet, sweetest sweet, as Gurudev used to say, sweetest sweet. So nothing can be compared to honey. Krishna sometimes is accused by the gopis of Srimati Radhika, and they use choice language to chastise Krishna. They call Krishna Durt Lampert, unfaithful lover. Lampert means debauchee. They call Krishna like this. But for Krishna, this is sweeter than all the prayers of personified Upanishads, all prayers of Purusha Sukta, etc., taken together. So for him, this is most sweet. So this is Madhu Sneha, very, very sweet, attractive for Krishna. So that's why even Krishna cannot understand. And the third desire, Sokyam Chasyam Anudabhavatam Kidrisham Vetilobat. What happiness Srimati Radhika is feeling when she is perceiving my astonishing qualities. Krishna, we were speaking yesterday, is Vishaya. Vishaya means, you remember Narayani, Vishaya, enjoyer. So if he is enjoyer, he is the repository of all sweetness. But he is sharing his sweetness with his devotees. But when the devotees are experiencing Krishna's sweetness, what are they feeling exactly? A sugar doll cannot say. A sugar lolly, is within the hands of some person who is like a child who is enjoying. But what's the child feeling? Sugar doll cannot say. A sugar lolly cannot say. Sugar lolly knows I'm all sweetness, personified. But what's the perceiver experiencing? Sugar doll cannot say. So Krishna is like sugar doll. He is enjoyed by so many devotees like this. I mean, relationship there, how to say, not correctly. Exactly, enjoy. He is the enjoyer, but the devotees also experiencing that enjoyment, which is rasa. But what happiness is there in the hearts of the devotees, Krishna does know. But Radhika is, who is Radhika? Radhika is Bhakti Devi. She is the personification of devotion. And everybody comes to Srimati Radhika in Vrindavan, we're based in Vrindavan with our gurus. In Vrindavan, so many pilgrims are there, and everybody's saying Radhe Radhe. Everybody's saying Radhe Radhe. Some are saying, we don't say, but some are saying Radhe Radhe Shyam Silade. They say, Radhe Radhe, give me Shyam. But were one pointedly devoted to Radhika's lotus feet, like we want her feet rather than Krishna's. And that is our specific feature. But I want to say that Srimati Radhika can bestow any type of devotion. And therefore, even for Krishna, that is great, great mystery. What is the depth of Srimati Radhika's love? Or what is the sweetness of his own qualities experienced by her and only by her in her love? And what exactly she is feeling when she is experiencing that. So that's why Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. And he was relishing that taste. Why? Because as Krishna is sweet, the repository of all sweetness, so his name, his form, his qualities, and his pastimes are sweet in the same way. Most exalted taste. So when one chants the holy name, that is the highest repository of rasa. Therefore, the best of the followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Rupa Goswami, has written that verse. Tunde tandviniratim vitanute tundavale labdaye karna kroda kadambini gate te karnarbude bispriha cheta prangana sangini vijayate sarvendriyanam kritim no jane janita kiyat birhamritai krishneti varnadvayi. Oh, what nectar is there in the holy name! I cannot imagine what nectar is contained in these two syllables, Krishna. I wish to have millions and millions of tongues, millions of ears, in order to taste that nectar. All of my existence is stunned completely when I'm chanting the name of Krishna. Oh, what is nectar there in the name of Krishna, in those two syllables, Krishna. That's what Srila Rupa Goswami is saying. So, Haribol. So, that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing the sweetness of the holy name. And he was, you can sit on the chair, some of you. And he came in order to bestow this sweetness to others. We were hearing this verse yesterday. Prema rasa niryasa karite asvadan, raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharan. Rasa kashakara Krishna parana karuna, hedu heto hoite icharodan. So he came to fulfill two types of desires. The internal desire, the main internal desire, we just heard, to fulfill his three unfulfilled desires. So it means to taste prema rasa, the sweetest taste of divine love, prema rasa. Niryas means the essence. Because the name, the form, the qualities of pastimes are in the same line. So when a pure devotee utters the holy name of Krishna, then unimaginable bliss is there, prema rasa. That's what Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada was calling as Krishna is dancing on your tongue. That's what is explained. That Krishna is dancing on your tongue. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was uttering the holy name, we will hear today we will start hearing about those ecstatic manifestations. He was fully immersed in ecstatic trance. And that is also waiting for us devotees. We will be experiencing that as well. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So what is that be happy? What is to be happy? To be happy is to hear the holy name from the lips of pure devotee and to be immersed in the holy name. So that happiness, as English word goes, that word is not perfect. The real words are prema rasa. That happiness, the real words are prema rasa. And prema rasa niryasa means the essence of the mellows of divine love. So English language cannot really express that. So prema rasa niryasa korite asvadan. On the one hand, he came in order to relish that, and on the other hand, raga marga bhakti loke korite pracharan. So he gave raga marga bhakti, or the path of spontaneous devotion. to the people of this world. Spontaneous. The spiritual world is full of spontaneity, especially Goloka Vrindavan and Vraj, the highest abode. Krishna is having so many sweet relationships with all of his devotees, and none of them is thinking that he is the Supreme Lord. That's the very, very specific characteristic feature of Golok, especially Vraj. So Golok Vrindavan has 4 sections: Dwaraka, Mathura, Goloka, and Vraj. Dwaraka and Mathura. Dwaraka has a lot of Aishwarya, means understanding that Krishna is the Supreme. Mathura has half, more or less. Half understanding that he is the Supreme and half sweetness, because very close to Vrindavan. Goloka is the abode where Radha and Krishna are situated like as if married couple. So the mood is still with Aishwarya. Aishwarya, understand, means awe and reverence. The view as the Lord as such, as Supreme Lord. But in Vraj, the inner core of the Golok sphere, nobody knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Nobody knows. They're just seeing him as the supremely attractive youth playing flute. Gopavesh Venudhar. Gopavesh means decorated by the attire of the coward boy, transcendental, most attractive coward boy, holding his flute and playing on the 5th note. Everybody's totally immersed in bliss, and everybody's having spontaneous attractions. So that spontaneity constitutes highest manifestation of prema rasa possible. That is Golok Vrindavan, and that is Vraja Bhakti. So Vraja Bhakti means Raga Bhakti, spontaneous Raga, spontaneous attraction. So that particular Raga Bhakti was brought by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes very rarely. Krishna comes one time during 864. I don't know, 8,640,000. 8 million, I'm always bad mathematician. 8,640,000 years. Means the day and night of Brahma multiplied by 2. Day and night of Brahma. 8,640,000. So, and that is huge number of years. Like one time during the lifetime of Lord Brahma, This is in any calculator you cannot accommodate such number, Very rarely. Krishna comes, and 4,500 years after Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes here. Some of our friends today didn't know about him, but he's here, and will be, yeah. Including Krishna. Mahaprabhu. How close to him? Yes. My angle doesn't allow to see properly. See what to do, material world. Why has it stopped again? No, it should be okay. I don't know what is stopping. Oh, battery is down. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the charger. Charger is okay. So one moment. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And Raga Marga Bhakti Lokya Karite Pracharana, on the other hand, to give the path of spontaneous devotion for the people. So when our Gurudev Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj was asked what is most important for Krishna, his own enjoyment or that he gives that to others, Gurudev was saying miraculously, mysteriously, he was saying, oh, Krishna by one action performs so many tasks. But actually both are very important, because we're inseparable parts of Krishna. We're inseparable parts of Krishna. So he enjoys himself and gives us chance to enjoy also. We're inseparable parts of his. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world back in 1486, spent in this world 48 years. Half his manifested pastimes, he was manifested as a grihasta, as a householder, and the second half as a renunciate sannyasi. So first, he was not immersed in the name of Krishna. He was a logician. He was a well-known knower of grammar, grammarian, logician. Pandit. Pandit means great, great knower. So he was known as Nimai Pandit. Since he was born under the neem tree, his name was Nimai Pandit. So everybody knew him as such. But once he was sitting immersed in devotional moods, and he could understand it's time to reveal his real identity to the world. So he was chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi like this. Sometimes he was in the mood of Krishna also, like mostly in the mood of Radhika, sometimes in the mood of Krishna. So he was chanting Gopi, 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 Gopi. And first he was a student of Gangadas Pandit, his first teacher of logic and grammar. But then he opened his own school. But one of the students of Gangadas Pandit saw him sitting and chanting Gopi, 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 and the student was disturbed, and he challenged him, why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi? You're supposed to chant Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That is what all scriptures say. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya, Nimai, took a stick and started chasing that student, because that was his devotional mood. How dare you, criticize chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And then the student started complaining to Gangadas Pandit, what has Nimai done? He's completely crazy, gone crazy. He's chanting Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. So then he decided to take sannyas, but that was later. That was later. But when the Lord first decided to reveal his real identity, then he went to Gaya. We were listening about this yesterday in Camden Town. He went to Gaya and he met his Gurudev, Ishvara Puripad, and he received mantra from him. And then he became fully immersed in devotional moods. Kipam mantra dila Gosai, Kiba Tarabal, Japite Japite mantra, Korile Pagal. Oh Gosai, what mantra have you given me? By chanting this mantra, I have become total madman, Pagal. So when he returned to his native place, Navadvip, then all the devotees were very, very happy. Nimai Pandit has become a devotee. So we'll hear now exactly how it happened. So as soon as Gaurasundara returned from Gaya, the entire city of Nadia was filled with the news. As the Lord's friends and relatives came running to see him, some came in front, some came in the middle, and some came far behind. The Lord spoke befittingly with everyone, and they all became jubilant in seeing Vishvambar. Vishvambar means one who supports all universes. They all greeted the Lord and accompanied him home, while Vishvambar narrated the topics of his pilgrimage. Prabhu Bali Toma Sabakara Ashirvadi Gaya Bhumi Dekya Ainu Nivirodi. The Lord said, by blessings of all of you, I visited the abode of Gaya without any difficulty. So Gaya is the abode where children offering Pinda, offering Shraddha ceremony for the departed parents, especially son for father. That is the place well known. And we heard also that in Gaya, there's a place where imprints of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet are there. The demon Gayasura asked for benediction from the Lord ages ago. Oh, please allow me to give liberation to everyone who sees me. So he wanted to liberate all the demons. But in order to prevent that unjust arrangement that all demons would become liberated, the Lord pressed his lotus feet on the head of Gaia and printed him into the earth. So he became hidden. Right? And he also was purified by the Lord, by the touch of the lotus feet. So since then, the imprints of Lord Vishnu's lotus feet are there. So that is called Pada Padma Tirtha. Pada Padma Tirtha. So that was the place where the ecstatic manifestation of Lord Chaitanya first took place. So he will now tell about that. Somebody placed his hand on the Lord's head and said, "Live a long life." Somebody else touched his various limbs while chanting mantras. Somebody placed his hand on the Lord's chest and blessed him with the words, "May Govinda bestow soothing, blissful mercy on you." The most fortunate mother Shachi was filled with joy and forgot herself while seeing her son. So Shachi was the name of Nimai's mother, and that is the eternal manifestation of Yashoda. So all the Vaishnavas were very, very pleased, and some of them immediately went to see the Lord, and the Lord humbly spoke to everyone, and then he took a leave and they returned to their homes, and then the Lord took a few devotees, most confidential devotees, to a solitary place to discuss some confidential topics. Prabhubale bandhu sabha shunakahi katha Krishnara apurvaye dekilun yatayat. The Lord said, "O friends, please hear about the wonders of Krishna that I have seen." Everybody was stunned. Nimai, Pandit, used to be a dry logician. Now he's speaking about Krishna. He's speaking about the wonders of Krishna. What is going on? So the Lord continued, "As soon as I entered the abode of Gaia, I heard the most auspicious sounds, because the Brahmanas were chanting mantras. And mantras means the names of Krishna, basically. So when he heard hundreds of Brahmanas chanting the names of Krishna at the shrine, Pada Padma Tirtha, so something started happening. So he will now tell in details how it happened. Thousands and thousands of Brahmanas were reciting prayers from the Vedas. They said, "Come and see the holy spot where the Lord Vishnu washed his lotus feet." When Krishna previously visited Gaya, he washed his feet at that place. The Ganga became glorious due to being touched by the lotus feet of the Lord, and Lord Shiva realized the glories of that water by holding it on his head. By the influence of water that has washed the Lord's feet, this place has become famous by the name Padodakatirtha. As soon as the Lord repeated the name Padabhadmatirtha, tears began to incessantly flow from his eyes. So we heard yesterday how that is actually the mood of Radhika. When she sees the imprints of Krishna's feet, what she is feeling. So that started at that particular moment, first manifestation. Sheshi Prabhu Helena Bara Asambara Krishna Boli Kandite Lagila Bhagdan. Eventually the Lord lost all composure and cried profusely as he called out the name of Krishna. Krishna! And then tears syringed out from his eyes. The flower garden was inundated with tears of love, and the Lord sighed deeply while chanting the name of Krishna. The Lord's entire body was decorated with hairs standing on end, and he was unable to remain still as his body began to intensely shiver. So the devotees witnessed, Shriman Pandit and others, as the Lord cried due to intense love of Krishna. So tears of love flowed from the Lord's eyes in all directions, as if Ganges had appeared there. So all the devotees were stunned, as they were thinking, "We've never seen him like this. We've never seen him like this. He must have received the mercy of Lord Krishna. Perhaps he has seen something wonderful on the way." So then the Lord regained his external consciousness. So this was the first case, but then during his life, further life, it was going on and on and on and on continuously. So this is our future. We'll be in that ecstasy. We'll cry like madmen. We'll exhibit all those symptoms when the time comes. So we're moving towards that. When the spiritual body manifests, yes, don't be surprised. That is the objective of life of every living entity, especially in the human form, pure bhakti, supreme devotion. But everything starts from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After a short while, the Lord regained his external consciousness and began to speak to everyone present there. The Lord said, Prabhu kahe bandhu sabha aji ghari yaha kali yatha bari tatha asibari chaha. The Lord said, Oh friends, please return home. I will tell you where you may come and meet me tomorrow. So I wish to tell you those things in a solitary place, more confidential things the Lord wanted to tell. And after speaking to everyone, he bid them goodbye and then performed his duties. So Mother Shachi was seeing the Lord and she could not understand what was going on. But she was very overjoyed to see him, certainly, but she could not understand what was going on. The Lord wept, cried out the name of Krishna, Krishna. That behavior was completely new. He was never crying before, never explaining Krishna, exclaiming Krishna before. His mother saw that the courtyard was flooded with tears. Katha Krishna, Balaya Thakur, Bolite Prema, Baraya Prachur. The Lord cried out, Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? While calling out in this way, his love incessantly increased. The more he cried, the more his love was increasing. His mother could not understand anything. Human-like pastimes of mother. Eternal manifestation of Mother Yashoda. But she could not understand anything. Therefore she sought the protection of Govinda with folded hands. So then the Supreme Lord started to manifest himself. And innumerable universes rejoiced. The demigods were observing that from above. And they were totally immersed in joy and jubilation. All the devotees immediately came there as they heard about the auspicious beginning of the Lord's distribution of love. All the Vaishnavas came and warmly greeted him. We'll meet tomorrow at Shuklambar Brahmachari's house, the Lord proclaimed. I will submit my sorrows to you in seclusion. So you can say, oh, this Caitanya-bhagavata is probably the book about sorrow. So why is Maharaj discussing this? But that sorrow is great, great jubilation. The sorrow is the step towards the divine love. That is the essence of the mood of Lord Chaitanya, from sorrow to greatest joy. Because that is the mood of separation of Srimati Radhika and Brijbasis. So that's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent his last section of life in Jagannath Puri, which is the land of separation, Vipralamba Kshetra. But in the beginning it happened in Mayapur, Navadvip. Navadvip is actually most exalted Dhamma. Srila Gurudev was saying about the supreme position of Mayapur, Navadvip, because it's a full replica of Vrindavan. Jagannath Puri, you know Jagannath Puri, Vijay, Jagannath Puri, is Dwaraka, same line as Dwaraka. So Krishna has gone to Dwaraka, Mathura first, and then Dwaraka. And the Brijbasis are suffering in separation. So Brijbasis are dragging Krishna on the chariot of their minds towards Vrindavan, and that is called Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra festival. Yes. So our acharyas have explained that they're dragging them, returning them to Vrindavan. And in Puri, Gundicha Mandir symbolizes Vrindavan, and the kunjas around are the kunjas of Vrindavan. And Jagannath Mandir is Dwaraka in Mathura, that line. So Jagannath is unblinking eyes, is looking towards Vrindavan. But Navadvip is Vrindavan, Mayapur is Vrindavan. And therefore, that mood, which started the mood of separation with Krishna, which started in Mayapur, corresponding to the Leelas of Vrindavan. Because in Vrindavan, meeting and separation are happening one after another, sometimes meeting, sometimes separation. We'll chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we'll read the commentaries of our acharyas who are saying that both meeting and separation are within Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Radhika and Krishna together. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. They're in separation. So that is the ocean of rasa, ocean of rasa. So we can just feel some smell by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. We're discussing so much about Guru Tattva and the mercy of the Vaishnavas during the first two meetings. So the key for understanding these Leelas are their mercy. So we can cry and we can discuss by their mercy these ecstatic pastimes with great feeling. We're praying so that we could cultivate that great feeling. So Shriman Pandit, Mahaprabhu's associate, was so delighted. He was performing his duties, and early next morning he took a basket and went to collect flowers. In the house of Srivas, when we visit Srivasangan in Mayapur. Have you been to Mayapur, Navadvip? No. The house of Srivas Pandit is there, Srivasangan. And in the courtyard, there's a tree on which there are so many kunda flowers. So the Vaishnavas, Hare Krishna. So the Vaishnavas were collecting those kunda flowers. And actually, that tree is an incarnation of Kalpavriksha. So Vaishnavas picked so many flowers, and they were regularly meeting under the tree to collect flowers. Gadadhar, Gopinath, Ramay, Srivas were picking flowers and were discussing about Krishna. So, and then Shriman, who was the witness of transformations of Mahaprabhu, Shriman Pandit, he came as a messenger, smiling. So those devotees who were picking flowers, Gadadhar, Gopinath, Ramay, Srivas, they said, "Oh, it seems to us you're very happy today. Can you tell what happened?" "Oh yes," smiling, Shriman Pandit said, "there is one good reason for that." "Oh, please explain." "Please hear the reason." Shriman said, "Paramadbhuta katha maha asambhav nimai pandita haila parama Vaishnav." So a most wonderful and most impossible incident has occurred. Nimai Pandit has become the greatest Vaishnava. The great, great mysterious event occurred. Hearing that he has happily returned from Gaya, I went to greet him yesterday afternoon, Shriman is saying. Everything he said revealed his utmost aversion to the world. He did not display any arrogance for even a moment. In a secluded place, he began to speak about Krishna and the wonders he had witnessed at various places. As soon as he mentioned the name of Pada Padma Tirtha in Gaya, the place where the Lord stamped his lotus feet, and then later when the feet of the Lord were washed there, the place became filled with his tears. His entire body began to tremble, and all the hairs on his body stood on end, calling out, "Oh Krishna!" He fell to the ground and then started to cry. So all those symptoms were described by Shriman in that conversation. And when the Lord fell unconscious, Shriman is continuing, there was no sign of life in his body, and after a while he regained his external consciousness with a sudden jerk. And finally he cried out the name of Krishna. It seemed as if Ganga herself appeared in his eyes. So, on regaining external consciousness, he said only, "Let us meet in the house of Shuklambar early morning tomorrow. I wish to reveal my distress to you, Sadashiv and Murari Pandit." So, Shriman Pandit had described to Gadadhar and Srivas and other devotees about what had happened. So the devotees, after hearing the news, triumphantly chanted the name of Hari. The magnanimous Srivas was the first to speak, "May Lord Krishna increase our family." Nimai Pandit has become a Vaishnava. So may our family increase. Gotram nu vardatam iti, verse they were quoting and in jubilation, repeating again and again. So may it be so. Let everyone worship the lotus feet of Krishna Chandra. Devotees were enlivened. So then they returned to their homes, and Sriman went to the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari. And when Gadadhar heard the news, also he went to the house of Shuklambar. So that was the third meeting. The first meeting was general, the second meeting was confidential, at which Sriman Pandit was present. So then later he conversed with the devotees and invited them to the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari. So finally, in the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari, everything happened. Soon devoted companions of the Lord like Sadashiv, Murari, Shriman, Shuklambar all gathered there. At that time, Vishwambar, the king of the twice-born, arrived there to meet the assembled Vaishnavas. They all greeted him in great happiness, but the Lord did not manifest any external vision. As soon as he saw the devotees, he began to recite verses glorifying the characteristics of bhakti. Then Nimai Pandit started reciting verse after verse. It's a mistake to think, a layman or some non-devotee may think that, oh, he's a sentimentalist. What is that? No. He's the knower of great treasure of bhakti. He's the knower of all revealed truths, all the tattvas. So he started to glorify Bhakti Devi, quoting verse upon verse, one after another, in an unending sequence. Sarvapadivinir muktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhakti uchyate. It's this verse of Srila Rupa Goswami Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is pure bhakti? Freedom of all designations, utpadi. Sarva upadi, vinir muktam. Full freedom of all designations. Pure and unconditional service to Sri Krishna. By your senses, to the master of the senses, Hrishikesha. That is pure devotional service. And further on, Mahaprabhu quoted the most classical verse. Everybody will, I hope, support the choir. Anya bilasita shunyam gyana karma dhyana vritam anukulyana krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. Okay, thanks God, our gurus. Our gurus' endeavors are not in vain, so we can chop like parrots, myself. So, anya bilasita shunyam gyana karma dhyana vritam anukulyana krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. That is the most sublime and most full formula of pure bhakti, pure service of Krishna. So, what is the most important verse in this? Most important word in this verse, Purushottam? No, not exactly. Krishna Anushilanam. Yes, Anushilam, that's true, but Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam means very favorable, constant endeavors, or rather to say, cultivation of endeavors of your body, mind, and soul, dedicated exclusively for Krishna's good, not for Krishna's happiness. Not exactly correct to say happiness, but for Krishna's good. Performed by your by your activities and by your moods simultaneously. Yeah. Cheshta Rupa and Bhava Rupa. So, devoid of all types of anya abhilas, extraneous desires, unnecessary desires. Jnana, karma, different desires for jnana, karma, adi, etc. And very, very favorable. Anukulyana. Is called pure devotional service. So in 2 words described. So anyways, today we'll not explain the whole shlok, but Mahaprabhu quoted verse upon verse. And finally have quoted the verse of Sri Madhavendra Puri. It's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Param Guru, Guru of his Guru. His Guru is Ishvara Puripat, we heard yesterday. And Madhavendra Puripat is the Guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru. So Madhavendra Puripat is Premankur. He is the root of the divine love, first root, first sprout, Ankur, of divine love. When Krishna went to Mathura, then Radhika was looking towards Mathura and exclaiming these words. Ayidina dardranatahi mathuranata kaladalokyase hridayam tudalokakataram deta brahmitikam kim karomyaham. Kaviraj Goswami has said that this verse can be understood only by Radhika herself, Krishna, and Madhavendra Puri. Three personalities. Only three personalities. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Radha and Krishna together, Radha Krishna Nahyanya, was relishing the meaning of this verse. So Radhika is exclaiming, "O my Lord, O my merciful Master, Dina Dayardranatha. Now you have become Mathura Natha, Master of Mathura. So when will you give your mercy to this lost servant? Hridayam Tvadaloka Kataram, my heart is lost. My heart is very uneasy. I cannot find you, cannot see you anywhere. Brahmeti Kim Karame, I'm walking here and there. What do I have to do?" Srimati Radhika is in deepest separation. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quoting this verse from his Param Gurudev. Painu Ishwaramora Konadina Gela, Eta Bolistamba Kore Karya Padila. I attained my Lord, but oh, where has he gone? Saying this, the Lord fell to the ground while holding a pillar. Bhangila Grihara Stamba Prabhura Aveshe Kotha Krishna Balya Padila Mukta Keshe. The pillar of the house broke under the pressure of the Lord. As he fell on the ground, his hair scattered and he lamented. Kotha Krishna, where is Krishna? So the pillar broke and tears were squirting as if from a syringe, again and again. Prabhu padilena matra na Krishna baliya bhakta saba padilena dhariya dhariya. As soon as the Lord fell to the ground saying, "O Krishna," all the devotees tottered and also fell to the ground. Dhaliya, 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 dhaliya. All fell. It's like the first biggest tree in the forest fell. On all the other trees, then like dominoes, they all fell. Then, especially Gadadhara Pandit is mentioned here. Why? Because he's Srimati Radhika, Gadadhara. So, Griyarabhutati Murcha, Gela Gadadhar, Keva Kona Dine Pari, Nahi Prapara, Parapar. Gadadhara Pandit fell unconscious within the room. No one knew who fell on whom. Total fall down of all trees, of all devotees. All the devotees lost consciousness due to ecstatic love of Krishna, and the goddess Jannavi smiled in amazement. Jannavi means Ganga. Ganga Devi was just smiling. As the forest of devotees was lying down, unconscious, on the bank, Jannavi was just smiling. So all the devotees lost consciousness. After some time, Vishwambara regained his external consciousness and began to cry loudly and piteously while calling out the name of Krishna. Krishna re Prabhu re mora kona dike gela eta boli Prabhu puna bhumite porila. O Krishna, O my Lord, where have you gone? Saying this, the Lord again fell to the ground. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Srimati Radhika in separation. Krishna Preme Kandi Prabhu Shachiranandan Chaturdike Vede Kandi Bhagavatagan. The son of Shachi cried out of love for Krishna, and all the devotees surrounding the Lord also cried loudly. First unconscious state and then tears. Many times. Sri Chaitanya-bhagavata, Sri Chaitanya-charitamrita were witnessing this. There arose the combined sounds of chanting and weeping as the house of Shuklambar became filled with the love of God. After some time, Vishwambar became pacified and sat down. Yet tears of ecstatic love continued to flow. Prabhu bale kona jana grihara bhitara, brahmachari balina tamara gadadhara. Then Krishna remembered Radharani. Mahaprabhu remembered Gadadhar. The Lord inquired, "Who is inside the room?" Shuklambar Brahmachari replied, "It is your Gadadhar." Enta mata karya kandena Gadadhar, dekhiya santosha bada, Prabhu Vishwambar. Gadadhar bent his head down and cried. Seeing this, Lord Vishwambar became greatly satisfied. Radhika is there. Gadadhar Pandit was like a director of transcendental drama play, because he was checking how Krishna, in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, playing his role, the role of the director. So every day in Jagannath Puri later, Krishna was coming, Mahaprabhu was coming to the garden Gadadhara was sitting in, Tota, Yameshwara Tota, and hearing from Gadadhara Pandit, Srimad Bhagavata. Gadadhara, Srimati Radhika herself was reading to Krishna, explaining in the form of Mahaprabhu the confidential meanings of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the confidential meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam? Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. In every syllable, what to speak. It's hidden there. Only a couple of times, Shukadeva Goswami was speaking, and he was speaking to many, many, many sages, some non-devotees, some yogis, some, very, very few could understand. Two, actually. Sutta Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit and Sutta Goswami, two. And Shukadev Goswami was speaking. That's why I was very cautious. Anayaradi Tanunam, just Radhi, just mentioned very, very, hidingly, syllable Radha. But Srila Gurudev explained, that Radhe, Radhe, Radhe in every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Every verse, every word, every syllable. And Gadadhar Pandit Srimati Radhika was revealing that to Krishna by discussing different Gitas, Gopi Gita, Venu Gita, all those things. So now it's starting, Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was searching for Krishna. That's another episode of Caitanya-bhagavata, but just to stress that the importance of Gadadhar being close. So he was scratching where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And Gadadhar said, he's in your heart. And Krishna started scratching his chest, scratching his. So Mother Sachi was near, and she started being very much afraid he will just scratch his chest to blood, crack open his chest. So then Gadadhar said, be appeased, be appeased. Krishna will come, pacified him. So then Shachi was very, very grateful and said, oh, please be always next to him. So Gadadhar was checking Mahaprabhu like this. So. Who is the stabilizer of Shri Krishna's conditions? Certainly Radhika only, no one else. So the Lord said, "O Gadadhar, you are indeed most fortunate. From your childhood you have had a strong inclination for Krishna. I have simply passed my life in useless endeavors." Gadadhar was brahmachari all life. Mahaprabhu married twice. At that moment he was married, I think, second time, Vishnu Priya. Married second time with Vishnu Priya, then he went to Gaya. And when he came back, with the attitude of a devotee, he was totally neglecting Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya was not. She was very young, only 14. He was just ignoring her for some time. So I've simply passed my life in useless endeavors. Although I received an invaluable jewel, I've lost it by the arrangement of providence. After saying this, Vishwambar again fell to the ground, and his entire body, which is worshipful to everyone, became covered with dust. The Lord repeatedly regained consciousness and repeatedly fell unconscious. Although he hit the ground with his nose and face, he was protected by providence. He could not open his eyes due to excessive tears of love, other than the name of Krishna Nothing issued from his beautiful mouth. Grasping the necks of those present, Vishwambara wept and asked, "O brothers, tell me quickly, where is Krishna? Krishna Katha, Bhai Sabha, Balaha Satvara." Seeing the earnest longing of the Lord, all the devotees cried. They were all unable to speak. Prabhu bole mora dukha karaha krandan, ani deha more nanda gopindra nandan. The Lord said, "Please relieve my distress. Bring me the son of Maharaj Nanda." After saying this, the Lord sighed deeply and wept repeatedly. His hair was unbound and trailed on the ground. The whole day passed like a moment in this blissful state. When the Lord took leave of the devotees, then the Lord took leave of the devotees for a short time. So, in this way, Gauranga was manifesting his ecstatic symptoms. The devotees headed by Gadadhar, Sadashiv, Shriman Pandit, and Shuklambar became totally stunned with wonder, seeing the transformations of ecstasy displayed by the Lord. Due to love, they all became speechless. Language is not perfect. Even in the case of great devotees, sometimes it's just useless. So they were just stunned or they were crying. They could not express their feelings in any words. They all joyfully went to the community of Vaishnavas and narrated in detail the entire incident. So the third meeting, the confidential meeting. Now the waves of transcendental news were spreading further and further. Hearing the news, all the great devotees chanted, "Hari! Hari!" and began to cry. They were all amazed to hear about the wonderful display of love. Someone said, "Maybe the Supreme Lord has manifested." I remember once your Gurudev, Pujapat Nime Maharaj, asked Gurudev about this Navadvip Lila. In Navadvip Lila, okay, is the highest and it's most spontaneously attractive. But why still? Sometimes Mahaprabhu manifests as the Supreme Lord there. We'll hear probably maybe Sunday, I think so. We'll start Mahaprakash, the great revelation of the Lord in Navadvip. So he was manifesting in different forms of the Lord, like six-armed form, and to Murari as I think Varaha, and others, So Gurudev answered that it cannot cover the sweetness of Mayapur Navadvip. It cannot cover at all, because the Lord is revealing His utmost sweetness there. And even though He's manifested as the Supreme Lord and He's sitting in Virasana, the heroic posture on the throne of Vishnu, for like 21 hours and then long time, still it cannot cover. And then Srivas comes and offers prayers of the Supreme Lord, etc., etc. Still cannot cover. Although those are the elements of Aishwarya. And then another secret comes, that those elements of Aishwarya are absent in Vrindavana. Then no prayers from no one. Only when Akrura comes, Uddhava, then they do something. Supreme Lord, they preach to Nanda Baba, Uddhava preaches to Nanda Baba. From the point of view of Jnana, and Nanda Baba laughs loudly. Come on, you're teaching me about Krishna, what's this? So that's why they laugh. They like to laugh in Vraja. There's a tradition to laugh. Like this. In the in the pilgrimage groups, the pandas, bringing them to seeing some place. Okay, we've seen this place, and now do ha ha ha. So everybody's ha 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 ha. There's a laughing, Aishwarya, where is that Aishwarya? But still some Aishwarya there in Navadvip, but still that Aishwarya does not prevent the sweetness to flow and flow and flow and flow and flow. So we're devotees, okay? We're following Gauranga. We also have a lots of etiquette elements, juniors worshipping seniors and serving and all those things. So much dasya, coming from Mahaprabhu. But that's also permeated by sweetness, so much sweetness. Rules, but rules are necessary in how to say, systematic devotion. So Mahaprabhu showed that path, but ultimately, total sweetness wins. And then Mahaprabhu loses the trace, and that's okay. Falling down unconscious, and the end of it. End of etiquette. Who fell on whom? Not clear. Not clear. Who's touching whose feet? Also not clear. So like this. Someone said, if Nimai Pandit becomes a good devotee, then we can easily tear off the heads of the atheists. So general devotees started sharing their opinions. Some of them said, no, for certain that this is one of Krishna's mysteries. There is no doubt about it. Others said, by associating with Ishwarapuri, he must have seen some manifestation of Krishna in Gaya. Is correct. In this way, all the devotees happily discussed various topics among themselves. They all jointly blessed the Lord with the words, may he be the object of Krishna's mercy, because there were many senior devotees than him, Advaita, etc. All the devotees began to perform kirtan in ecstasy. Some of them sang, some danced, some cried. In this way, all the devotees happily passed their time, and the Lord remained absorbed in his own mood. Returning to partial external consciousness, Vishwambar went to the house of Gangadas Pandit. He went to his teacher. Gangadas Pandit was the head of school, Tola, Sanskrit school. Gauranga had studied in. The Lord offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of his teacher, who immediately got up with respect and embraced the Lord. His guru said, Dhanya Bapa, Tomarajiv. Bapa means son, sometimes father. That's Bapa. This word, very sweet Bengali word. Sometimes father, sometimes son. So Dhanya Bapa, Tomarajivana. Pitrikula, Matrikula, Karila Machan. His guru said, glorious is your life, my dear. You have delivered both your father's and mother's families. Your students know only you as their teacher. They would not open their books even for Lord Brahma. Now that you have returned, you should begin teaching from tomorrow. Today go home. Okay, Mahaprabhu. Not yet Mahaprabhu, it's a mistake. It's still Gauranga. In Navadvip, in those Leelas, nobody calls him Mahaprabhu. No, that's Jagannatha Puri name. The big Lord, great Lord. Yes. Everybody's still calling him Nimai, Gauranga, like this. Vishwambar, those names in Navadvip. Mahaprabhu came later. You can say, but actually the name came after. So he received the instructions from his guru there to teach. So let's hear now what he started teaching. After offering obeisances to his guru, Vishwambar left that place. Surrounded by his students, he appeared like the moon amidst the stars. The Lord then arrived at the house of Mukunda Sanjay, where he sat down within the Chandi Mandapa, Durga's altar. Accompanied by his relatives, the most pious Mukunda Sanjay experienced unlimited happiness. The Lord embraced him and others. And then Mahaprabhu returned to his house, and he sat at the doorstep of his Vishnu temple, and he bade farewell to his students. So still Mother Sachi was not able to understand anything within the behavior of her beloved son. She prayed, Swami Nila Krishna Chandra Nila Putra Gana Avashisha Sabe Matra Ache Ekajana. Oh Krishna Chandra, you took away my husband, you took away my son, now you have only one son. I have only one son left. You have left only one son for me. Oh Krishna, I'm a widow. Please give me the benediction that Vishwambar may peacefully remain at home. Mother's feeling. He was meant to take sannyas, and she was feeling something like that. He will follow his elder brother Vishwarup, who took sannyas at 19, left home, became known as Shankararanya, and disappeared without trace. Mother Sachi purposely brought Vishnupriya and her, Gauranga's wife, and had her sit in front of her son. Although the Lord gazed in her direction, he did not actually see her. He saw only Krishna. He didn't see mother. He didn't see wife. That's Svabhavik sannyas, natural sannyas, which was manifested then, fully giving his life a search for Krishna. Reality is the beautiful. Copyright Srila Siddhar Maharaj. Reality is the beautiful. So, Niravadi Shloka Pari Karayarodan Kotha Krishna Bole Anukshan. The Lord constantly recited verses and cried as he continually implored, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Kotha Krishna, Kotha Krishna. Kakana Kakana Yeba Hunkara Karaya Dare Parayana Lakshmi Shachipaya Bhai. Sometimes he roared loudly in such a way that Vishnupriya Devi ran away in fear and Shachi became frightened. Even they were frightened. It was roaring. This is not usual behavior, I know. He used to be never like this. What's going on? So they were just running away. Fear. Due to feelings of separation from Krishna, the Lord could not sleep at night. When someone is very worried about something, cannot sleep. So he was worried about where is Krishna. Could not sleep, could not eat, could not see day or night, like this divine madness. He would feel so uncomfortable that sometimes he would get up from bed, sometimes he would lie down, sometimes he would just sit there. As soon as the Lord saw a materialistic person, he would conceal his internal mood. Every morning he would go take bath in the Ganga. Yes, only that would be stopping him, some materialistic person was arriving. That's why our great masters like Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj were escaping materialistic association, hiding from them. Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj was living under an upside down boat, and he was throwing fish bones all around the boat to prevent materialistic persons from coming and disturbing him. And also he was living in a toilet in some dharmashala, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And when police came, some superintendent complained, Babaji Maharaj, not complained, but like Babaji Maharaj, but organized some kutir for him, it's not a proper place for him to stay. So police came and knocking on the door. I cannot open, I'm very sick. Then, oh, Babaji Maharaj, will build a kutir for you. No, I cannot open, I'm very sick. That was maybe last year of his life, more or less. And then our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, he was very young at that time, came with, I think, Narahari Seva Vigraha Prabhu, his close friend, and his two aunties, to see Babaji Maharaj, because such a unique, opportunity. Oh, Babaji Maharaj, please open the door, we're eager to receive your darshan. I cannot open, I'm very sick. Maharaj, we have received very, very special mercy from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So that was the only disciple of Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. As soon as Babaji Maharaj heard the name of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he opened the gate, took them inside and closed again, locked. So then he said that, so he preferred the stench of a toilet to the stench of materialistic talks. And he removed all obstacles from the life of Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. I'm removing all obstacles from your life. This Param Gurudev means Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Guru of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. So, like this. So, just remember that because okay, because in that same way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was restraining his feelings when materialistic people were coming to disturb him. So he was not able to maintain his bhavas anymore. So it was like he had to come to more, what to say, external actions, and he was restraining his feelings, and he was just sitting silent. He cannot, no problem. So, as soon as the Lord returned from taking bath, then he would go to take bath in the Ganga. And as soon as the Lord returned from taking bath in the Ganga, his students would assemble there, and then he was trying to instruct them, but he could not say anything, explain anything other than Krishna. So the students could not understand anything. And then the students were keeping requesting, and the Lord started to reveal the glories of Krishna. The students opened their books while chanting the name of Hari, Hari, Hari. He was very, very very happy to hear the names of Hari from their mouths. And by hearing Hari, he could not explain anything, again lost consciousness. Could not start explanation. They were opening the book saying Hari, 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 but he was still falling unconscious. Then finally was coming to external consciousness, and he was explaining the names of Hari in the sutras, aphorisms, and commentaries. Prabhu Bali Sarvakala Satya Krishna Nam Sarva Shastra Krishna Bai Abalayan. The Lord said, the holy names of Krishna are the eternal truth. All scriptures explain Krishna and nothing else. Actually, this is so, if we take. So, Krishna is the supreme controller, the creator, the maintainer, the annihilator. Everything beginning from Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is his servant. The life of anyone who gives up the lotus feet of Krishna and explains things as separate from him is useless as a result of his false statements. So Maya, or Maya Shakti, is the energy which is seemingly separate from the Supreme Lord. It makes things look separate from the Supreme Lord. Anyway, any energy is his Shakti, and separated anyway. But Maya Devi, or Maya Shakti, is making everything here looking as separate from the Supreme Lord. So anyone who engages in that so-called separate sector makes the life activities of such person totally useless. Because you analyze, but you forget about the main, the connection, how it is connected to the Supreme. So logicians are explaining verbal roots and so many rules of grammar, but they forget it all comes from Krishna, how it's related to Krishna and devotion. That's why, a branch which is cut from the tree, you can put it in a vase, can stay for some time. After a few days it will dwindle. So same, a fruit. You can put an apple, it will get dry and rotten. Out of the touch of the tree, out of the connection. So the great thinkers got lost in their investigations of different sciences because they forgot about the connection to the Supreme Lord and the service to Him. Ishavasimidam sarvam kinchad jagatyam jagatyena prakrina jita svidhanam, the Ishopanishad, first mantra, saying that all the living and non-living entities are belonging to the Supreme Lord. And we are meant to take just that quota. We have to be, touching, in contact with, and in the mood of service. That's it. So if we have our house or flat, it's Krishna's house. Everything should be engaged in His service, in His seva. People who come from the great cultural background of Indian culture, thought, they know it perfectly well. If you make separate, then Lord Chaitanya himself is saying here that is quite fruitless. That will not bring any result. You'll just, you become clever, you have so many degrees, you have this and that and this and that. All upadhyas, means all designations. They will not bring you anything. Name, fame, all that will come into the, cremation ground or coffin, depending on your tradition. It's back to the material elements, nothing. You'll not take a penny with you. You'll not take your scientific hat with you, whatever. It's just for one photo. It's okay. It's one point of life, but you'll not take it, you'll not. Over there, they will neglect it. Oh, you're a professor? Okay. Nothing. You think you're so clever. Like this. So, Mahaprabhu continued, the Lord continued, the philosophies of all scriptures headed by Agamas and Vedanta describe the wealth of devotion to the lotus feet of Krishna. That's why Shankaracharya, the great, great Vedantist, at the end of his life, wrote that verse, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Mudha Mate. Oh, learn it full. Bhaja Govinda, just worship Govinda. That is the best engagement for you. If you don't worship Govinda, then all your achievements, so-called achievements, will be nil, will be just nil. Nothing will be yours, actually. So that is the whole point of all Vedanta. All Vedanta means bhakti. Our Gurudev Shishimad Bhakti, Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, writing in the commentary, in the biography of Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, he mentioned that all the endeavors of Param Gurudev in the field of Vedanta was to prove that Vedanta actually means bhakti. It's nothing but bhakti Vedanta. That's why there are so many titles of sannyasis. Bhakti Pragyan, Bhakti Bibuddha, Bhakti Pramod, Bhakti Keval, Bhakti Vaibhav, etc. But Param Gurudev was taking only title Bhakti Vedanta. All sannyasis from Param Gurudev, including Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, also received from him, is also Bhaktivedanta. That is the meaning. If Vedanta means Bhakti, okay, separate in the So, that's why Mahaprabhu continued, Lord Krishna is the only ocean of mercy, the life and soul of the universe, the lover of his servants, and the darling son of the coward Nanda. Even if one studies all the scriptures, if he has no affection, no inclination for the name of Krishna, he is certainly degraded. If a poor fallen person takes to chanting the holy names of Krishna, he attains the abode of Krishna in spite of having many faults. This is the purport of all scriptures. Anyone who doubts this fact suffers. Anyone who explains the scriptures without referring to the worship of Krishna is a fallen soul who does not know the purport of all the scriptures. Those who do not know the purport of scriptures yet teach them to others are simply like asses carrying the load of the scriptures. An ass can carry a great load of different books. Books are quite weighty, they have weight. But the ass doesn't know anything about the meaning of the books he's carrying. So materialistic scientists are like this. People obtain death and destruction through such study of the Vedas, and as a result, they were deprived of all festivals of Lord Krishna. So, in many, many words, Nimai was explaining to his students the futility of material knowledge, logical and grammatical. And then finally, he said very, very bravely, he said, who in Navadvip has the power to refute my explanations before me? The Supreme Lord became ferocious, he said. Who in Navadvip can contradict me? Nobody can really contradict me. So, after a while, from that ecstasy, he regained external consciousness. Feeling somewhat embarrassed, he began to inquire, Aji ami kemata se sutra bakhalin, pariula sabibali, kichana bujiman. How was my explanation of the sutras today? And the students replied, we have not understood anything. You explained every word simply in relationship with Krishna. So who is the proper candidate for understanding your explanations? Vishwambara smiled and said, listen, brothers, pack up your books for today and let us go to take a bath in the Ganga. So they went to took bath in the Ganga, and he was appearing like a moon, the moon amongst many, many stars. So they were sporting in the waters of the Ganga. And then Ganga was so joyful by being touched by the Lord. She was dancing as the waves were like dancing hands. So then they returned to their homes. The Lord changed his clothes, washed his feet, and came and sat down. So then Mother Shachi fed him. Then Mother Shachi asked, my dear son, which book did you study today? Did you quarrel with anyone? Today I read about the names of Krishna. The lotus feet of Krishna are in fact the reservoirs of transcendental qualities. Hearing and chanting about the qualities and names of Krishna is the truth, and all the servants of Krishna Chandra are also the truth. The literatures that glorify devotional service to Krishna are the true scriptures, others simply atheistic. So then Mahaprabhu started teaching the true devotion to her mother, Shachi. And he was teaching in the way Kapila Muni, was teaching his mother, Devahuti. So he was teaching many, many things. Kapila Muni, while speaking about the essence of devotion, is glorifying the Supreme Lord, and he's saying about himself, because he's Shakti Avesha, he's the avatar of Krishna. So he was saying about the movements of the living entities, how embryo is experiencing sufferings in the womb of his mother. And Gauranga in the same way was describing to Shachimata the movements and the sufferings of the living entity. The living entity repeatedly dies and suffers the miseries of confinement within the womb. The reactions to his sinful activities manifest in every one of his limbs. So, in the same way as Lord Kapila is describing in Srimad-bhagavatam, in the same way Lord Gaurachandra was explaining to his mother the movements and the sufferings of living entity. So Kapila Muni is describing in the third canto that living entity finds a particular type of satisfaction and satisfied in a particular species of life, and then a materialistic person gives all of his life energy to a personality of opposite sex, like a man to a lady, and the lady charms him with Maya. Then the charmed materialist is enjoying the lady in a solitary place, her embraces, and trying to gain money to substantiate her comforts. And then the foolish man remains at home just like a pet dog and eats whatever, like being, old, remains at home like a pet dog and eats whatever negligently given to him. So then, afflicted with many illnesses such as dyspepsia and loss of appetite, he eats only very small morsels, etc., etc. So The diseased condition, one's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within. The glands become congested with mucus. So, ghara ghara is the sound the poor dying man is uttering at death time. And then the clutches of death. At death, he sees the messengers of the Lord, Yamadutas. Yeah, scattered hairs, the tusks, you sinful husband, etc., started shouting at him. As a criminal arrested for punishments by constables, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification, similarly arrested by the Yamadutas. So people are thinking very, how to say, naively that they are not faulty. They're eating so much killed cows, so much illicit things, and they think they will be all right. I'm all right for the moment, and then some terrible messengers of death come and drag them by the necks, to the Lord of Death, and they, why, what have I done wrong? I've done nothing wrong. We'll show you what you have done. Come to our master, like this. And then after, under the scorching sun, the criminal has to pass through the roads of hot sand with forest fires on both sides. He is whipped on the back of the constables because of the inability to walk, and he is afflicted by hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, there is no drinking water, no well, no shelter, no trees. The passing on that road, the abode of Yamaraj, he falls down in fatigue. Sometimes he becomes unconscious. So that's hellish existence, described here by Kapila Muni. So in that line, Gauranga was explaining also to Mother Shachi, and he was glorifying Krishna more. So the sinner is placed amongst burning pieces of wood, and limbs are set on fire. He entrails and pulled out by hounds and vultures of hell, even though he is still alive to see it, and is subjected to torment by serpents, scorpions, gnats, and other creatures that bite him. Next, his limbs are lopped off and torn asunder by elephants. He is hurled down from hilltops, also held captive in the water of the cave. And then he received another birth. It's good if he receives birth in a decent family, most probably not in a very decent family. Most probably after some animal births, he receives some very bad births, and in the womb, he's bitten by the juices of mother's womb, and he cannot say anything because he's very, very tiny. His skin is very tiny and developed, and he's really, really tortured there. And in that condition, he's able to remember, I think, 100 previous births, and praying to the Lord, "Oh, my Lord, please forgive me. I will really remembering you. I will be remembering you when I take birth." And then after 9 months is good, if not 7 months, or even earlier. After 9 months, he is pushed head forward from the mother's womb by the pranas of mother's womb. Head forward, and from shock, he just shouts. Those babies being born, they shout because of shock. Death is a big shock. Birth is a big shock. So very, very pitiful condition. And then child is born, and the relatives are saying, "Ooh, you're small, and you're nice, you're best, you're this and that. You're good." And the neighbor is bad. At once good, bad. Beautiful, nasty. This is like this world of dualities. You're beautiful because your nose is beautiful, and see the nasty neighbor nose goes like this. So at once duality. So where is the Lord in that? Totally forgotten. If there's no spiritual culture, the Lord is forgotten totally. So Mahaprabhu was teaching Mother Shachi about these things, and later we'll be hearing tomorrow in Purushottam's house. How Lord Chaitanya let out his students, he said that, oh, you have to find another teacher. Some stayed with him, some went. So these are uncommon manifestations of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord is teaching the pure devotion by his transcendental example. Also, he's teaching us, chant the holy name. Because if we don't chant the holy name, that all that cycle of Yamaraj and new birth will be with us. We'll not be able to come to Krishna consciousness. It's a rare, rare opportunity. In this life, if we happen to meet Sadguru, pure spiritual master, and that is our situation of our devotees, and their relatives also. Because if they're devotees, what relatives will receive, it's difficult to count. Because they're making constant conscious endeavors for establishing their spiritual body. And spiritual body is the body you can live in spiritual world with the Lord, Krishna himself, Mahaprabhu himself. So they're making special, special endeavors. And since you're the relatives, you're receiving much, much, much benefit, that. So please help your children to practice that path and practice yourselves. I want to finish by quoting one wonderful verse by Srila Kulashekar Maharaj, one great king of the ancient past. Krishna tvadiya padapankaja tava pankaja pancharantam adyaivame vishatamanasa rajahamsa prana prayana samaye kapavata pita rodina vido smaranam kutaste. O Krishna, King Kulashekar is praying, let my mind be always immersed as a swan in the stems of your lotus feet. Because swans, they eat the stems of lotuses, they sustain on that. So let my mind be always caught within the stems of the lotuses of the lotus feet. Raja Hamsa means the mind, the manasa Raja Hamsa, the swan of my mind. Always be immersed in the in the lotuses of your lotus feet. So, because prana prayana samaye, when the time for leaving the body comes, prana prayana samaya, kapha, vata, pitta, the three elements of the body, kapha, vata, pitta, will become disturbed. And then the sounds gara gara we were hearing will appear, the mucus, everything will be blocking our ear. Very difficult to say Krishna, to remember about Krishna. Kantavaradana vido namskutast. Very, very difficult at that time will be to remember Krishna. So we have to practice now. It's very naive to think that, oh, we'll do bhajan when we're old. When? When you're old, your servant starts feeling, like, oh, 3 years ago, I was feeling much better than now. I start feeling a strange feeling coming, If 5 years ago, I was much more energetic, So start thinking. 5 years ago, I didn't have this stuff, eyeglasses, etc., So the earlier you start, perfect age, early 20s, perfect age for spiritual life. So don't give up. Don't, how to say, become weak under the attacks of Maya. Always hold the lotus feet of Krishna, spiritual master, the stems of the lotus feet. So that is the preaching to our Rajahamsa, Manasa Rajahamsa, the mind, which is like a swan. So swan will never go to crows, not interested. That's why we're not interested in all the drinks people are going crazy about, and sports people going crazy about. We're aspiring to go crazy, same as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you want to go crazy, then remember Mahaprabhu. And only that craziness allowed, otherwise not allowed. Otherwise you become real medical, vegetable. This one. Yeah, so Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Caitanya-bhagavata ki jai. Thanks very much. We were very happy to hear, and we're inviting you to the next programs in Watford in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow at Purushottam's house at 2 o'clock, a bit early, and 4 o'clock Sunday at Raghunath Prabhu's house, also here in Watford. So we are very cordially inviting you. So now finally we will sing some last. If you have any questions, most welcome to ask. You're a very, very wonderful public. I think the first hand was by Prabhu. So your good name is? Bhakti. Uh-huh.
One question. Raj, you were saying about Mother Vrindavana
Mm-hmm.
in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Bhakti.
Premankur. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You always hear that Bhakti comes from Bhakti.
Mm-hmm. Bhaktya sanjata bhaktya. Uh-huh.
How is that in this case? Where did this Bhakti come from?
Oh, it's a very good question, actually. So when we were asking our Gurudev, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, about Srimad Devendra Puri, he was saying that Srimad Devendra Puri Pad is the desire tree. So it's said that we were asking actually how he is desire tree in spiritual world. So Gurudev was saying that desire tree means can fulfill all desires. So Sri Guru can fulfill all desires, not dependent on his rasa. But Gurudev was saying that undoubtedly his rasa is Radha Dasyam, Srimad Devendra Puri, Radha Dasyam. So definitely he is the eternal maidservant of Radhika. And otherwise he couldn't have written that Ai Dinadarata Mata verse. And I understand your question, like historically where it came from. Yeah, because before him there was no such mood. Technically he was disciple of Lakshmipati Tirtha, I think. Yes, and he was within Madhva Sampradaya. But he was the, how to say, messenger of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He built the platform necessary before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, appearance. But it's very difficult for us because we have like historical thinking. You know? Like if something didn't exist, how did it evolve? You know, we're thinking. But we can give some material answer. You know, like you heard about River Palgu. It has underwater streams, and it's very shallow on the surface. But sometimes water comes on the surface, so it's usually underwater, but comes on the surface. Or the river in Triveni, you know, Saraswati, now underwater. So those underwater currents, we don't know about them, but they're underwater. And for example, another historical episode when Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur spent many, many years for discovering one copy of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, maybe 10 years he was looking and couldn't find. Finally he discovered, but it existed. Somewhere it existed. Or like some people are accusing our line by saying that we are so-called concocting, you know, some scriptures which don't exist. They do exist. And when our Gurudev, Param Gurudev, were quoting Chaitanya Upanishad, this one, Chaitanya Upanishad, yes. So it's a part of certain Upanishads, I think, belonging to a certain Veda. So it does exist, you know. But our opponents from like Madhava, that side, you know, very acute fighting is going on. So they're saying, oh, the Gaudiyas are composing, you know, they're, how to say, introducing some bogus scriptures because they're not according to our, you know, but actually it does exist. But if it's invisible, it doesn't mean that it's not existing. Same underwater currents, and also like so-called non-existent Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc., etc. Then another thing, some Vaishnavas, actually many of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, they were revealing, how to say, they were making revelations. So those revelations are coming from their hearts. Where did Srila Sanatana Goswami take Brihad Bhagavatamrita from? Where? That's like a novel, you know. Where did Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur take Javadharma from, or Prema Pradip? Those transcendental novels, isn't it? Like with characters, etc. Where is it coming from? When we were trying to ask Gurudev about those things, he was like, okay, whatever Srila Bhaktivinoda is saying, accept it. Don't bother your heads too much. So our questions are like, where is it coming from? Because it's, or another example, sometimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita and scriptures like this, where philosophical discussions, quotations, there are some quotations from scriptures which came about later. Those quotes are from the scriptures which were like recording those shlokas later. Say Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I think, hadn't been written at that time. I'm not, maybe I'm wrong, but anyway, some other scriptures. Those shlokas were recorded later, but they were functioning amongst Vaishnavas. Some Vaishnavas were, how to say, could manifest them, and then later they manifested in well-known scriptures as Bhakti Rasamrita, etc., etc. So, in that same way, Srila Madhavendra Puripad, how to say, existed, evolved his mood, which was there. But historically, we cannot explain it from the line, like from A to B, from, how to say, three measured X, Y, Z. We cannot explain how where did it get it from? Because it's always there, because Goloka is always there, Vraja is always there. Another thing, some acharyas may be coming, maybe when the time is there, they're coming. Divine arrangement, very difficult for us to understand. It's like, children. Mother is giving, we're accepting. Position of a devotee is a position of a humble child. Mother giving, we're doing That's it. Certain things. But logicians, they're, how to say, very much obstinate. They want to understand everything by their intelligence. It's the great tragedy. We were facing so many cases like great, great tragedy. Devotees were like breaking their heads, philosophical, overly philosophical minds trying to understand everything. I must, like, they are confident, I must understand that now by my intelligence. It is not possible to do. They've spoken too much. Hare Krishna.
Where they get cheated. Where they get cheated. In the sense you can apply that to a greater philosophy. That's why knock yourself out to you die, right? If you try and apply it to bhakti, you're gonna come unstuck.
Oh yeah. Not philosophizing too much. Dangerous, dangerous.
Like you said, breaking head.
Tarka pratishta shrutayo vibhinna. Tarka pratishta shrutayo vibhinna. Naham munir bhinnam. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajanayana gatha sapanta. Just follow the Mahajans. Maharaj Yudhishthira answered to Yaksha this question in Mahabharata. Perfect answer. So he said that Tarka apratishta, the philosophical arguments are quite irrelevant in establishing the only philosophical arguments. They're relevant, but without bhakti, irrelevant. Tarka apratishta, that's it. Tarka means groundless, apratishta. Shrutaya vibhinna. Shrutaya, the scriptures, variety. And one philosopher is not a philosopher, his opinion does not differ from another philosopher. That's what Prabhupada always stresses. Then second part of the verse. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Dharmasya tattvam means the truth of the spiritual essence is hidden within the hearts of Vaishnavas. Mahajanayana gata sapanda. Therefore, it is necessary to follow the path of the Mahajans, great devotees. That's it. Because we're tourists, like spiritual tourists, spiritual tourists. So we have to listen to someone. Obviously, if you're a tourist, you have to listen to excursion guide. Because he's the authority, And you're a poor tourist, you came here, you don't know anything. I'll go myself. You'll get cheated, you'll get robbed, you'll go astray somewhere, Go, as we say in Lithuania, mushrooming, go somewhere to the forest, for mushrooms, whatever sort of mushrooms, whatever. So, yes. So you'll get, Many, many, many false things you'll get. So follow the Mahajans. Follow the Mahajans. So finally it comes to faith, But those, aggressive, how to say, apologists of different conceptions who are great logicians, they're saying, oh, your scriptures are not substantiated, etc., etc. How do you know? Be careful. Aha, you're sentimentalist because finally you're accepting everything for faith, But it is a method of a baby. It's a holy method, the initial method. The baby always trusts his mother, always. The mother says, mother giving, baby says, and it's correct. If nice mother, giving the right thing, so according to good fortune, we'll come to Sadguru, real mother, who giving nice thing. Otherwise, as Gurudev was joking, about Asad Guru. Gurudev was joking. We were laughing. Gurudev was joking. I remember. Holland 2000. Many senior devotees sitting. Gurudev was making a joke, like public class. He was saying, there was a Guru, and he was having many disciples, and he said, now I'll teach you how to get milk. How to get milk. But the Guru has never seen cow. Everybody starts laughing already. They know what it means. But the Guru is explaining, we will take flour and mix with water. This is milk, Guru explaining. But the first result of drinking that milk, you'll get sick. He's explaining. Everybody's laughing. Everyone is. Or another example. There were monkeys in the forest, and there was very intelligent guy, leader. So the leader went to the forest meditating sometime, a week. After a week, he returned without tail, without the tail. So, why is that? The monkeys asked, and the leader said, oh, that is the process. So all the monkeys cut their tails. Like this, So that's like joking. So proper mother, proper spoon, proper substance, very sweet, otherwise don't give any acid or anything. Proper, don't give milk, don't give water mixed with flour. Real thing. Don't teach your baby that you'll get sick and that is good process. No. Let's be real. So then the scriptures which are revealed are true. And Vrindavana is true, and all the other things.
That relates to the point we were reading earlier in the scripture. We're saying that we're not connected with Krishna. This is of no use.
Yeah.
What I was saying, nowadays it's become very popular. You may not know within Islam, very everything, but on the top down purely. That's become very popular to other people from business principles, how you can apply to business. It's becoming very fashionable, creeping in now, more and more.
Yeah.
How do we relate that to it? And good preaching,
The motive must be very pure, selflessness. The basis of bhakti is selflessness. If you start doing things for business, if you start doing things for self-appraisal, if you start doing things for name, fame, all those things, then it's doomed. It's no bhakti. It's no bhakti. It must be totally pure, totally selfless. Nadanam, najanam, nasundarim, kavitam, vijagadishakam, mama janmani, janmaneshwari, bhavatad bhaktirani. That's nothing else. That is bhakti. Those people who are doing business out of bhakti are doomed. Bhakti will not come. Prabhu.
This on the point.
Mm-hmm.
I know the teacher said like daily art.
Mm-hmm.
But how that baby stops himself from playing art from the school?
Yes.
What is his duty to be able to basically play art from the right moment?
That's a very, very
so that you
Nice question.
progress?
Nice question and fundamental question. It's, how to say, very much.
Do you want to be single-hearted?
Yes.
Or do you don't want to be cheating as well?
Well, ordinarily we receive something in this world according to karma. But that's material principle. We receive spiritual benefits. We receive spiritual values from our devotion in the past and from our sincerity in the past. Main thing is to be sincere. If I'm powerless, I know I'm powerless and I'm praying. I don't know anything. I cannot do anything. Oh Lord, please help me. Oh Yoga Maya, please help me. Oh Giriraj Maharaj. Gurudev used to joke, don't pray to Krishna. He's a little boy. He cannot help. So, pray to Giriraj Maharaj. Pray to Yoga Maya Devi. Pray to Yamuna Devi. Pray to Gopeshwar Mahadev, to those great personalities. Because they know about devotion. Krishna is what? He's playing the flute. You know. But as Lord in the heart, okay. So, but finally, you know, as Brijabasis. So, what I wanted to say, just be simple-hearted and pray as a child. As Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was explaining, like a genuine cry of a mother, of a child for a mother. Hare Krishna, please. Like this. So, if we try to be like this, like children, then we'll receive. Easy to do. As our Shiksha Guru Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj is saying that be normal. That's his phrase. Be normal. How to achieve, how to, like, you know, popular amongst devotees, how can we questions? How can we do that? How can we do it? Just be normal. Be normal. Normal means like a child, you know? Like a little baby, you know. Vritrasura is praying, you know, Ajata Pakshiha Mataram Kagastanam Etavatsitarakshadata Priyam Priyava Vyushitam Vishanna Manora Vindakshadidrikshate. So 4 parallels. In the same way as, or three, no, 4 parallels. Ajata Pakshiha Mataram Kaga is a baby bird, yellow beak, you know, yellow mouth, waiting for mother to feed. As a baby calf, you know, tied by the rope, you know, for mother to come. Then Priya Priyava Yashitam Vishan. 3, yes, 3. And the beloved is waiting for beloved. So, oh, let my mind be attached to you in that way. Like this. And these examples, the Acharyas explain, they're each more advanced than the previous one. Like the baby bird is selfish, you know. Give me food, give me food. The calf, you know, a bit less selfish, you know, but still selfish. But the Priyam Priyava, the beloved, you know, is ready to do everything for beloved, for husband or beloved. So let my mind be the same attracted to you. So Vritrasura prayed and then was killed by Indra. He was actually a devotee, in the form of a demon, but devotee. So, so these prayers are very, very helpful. So we're like that, like babies, and like selflessly, you know, like little children. But not naive, not naive. Or be clever, you know. Have to know. Tattva. Because if you're naive, you're foolish, then it's also bothering you. Know. So you have to be alert. So, yeah, we can discuss because people have to leave now. It's 9 o'clock. No? Right. So simple kirtan, Hare Krishna kirtan. All right. So today, thank you very much for coming. Actually, we're very, very happy because many devotees were late because of the distances and blocked road, and also lecturer was how to say, eyesightless. Was it glassless? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, one after another. Rama Rama. Now don't sing. Hare. Stop. You listen to me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now you.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bo. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Giridhari Radha Lalit Madhav Ji ki Jai, Krishna Balaram Maharaj ki Jai, Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki Jai, Paramaraditam Guru Pad Padma ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Bo. Shri London Watford UK Sangha ki Jai, Shri Rasaraj Parivar ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. Thank you so much. Now let's take prasad, chant Gayatri and take prasad. And tomorrow we're inviting you to the program at Purushottam Prabhu's house at 2 o'clock. And Sunday, 4 o'clock at Raghunath Prabhu's house. We'll continue these subjects. So waiting for you. Hare Krishna.